You're watching the Chaos Protocol on Transplanar RPG, an all-transgender, people of color-led dark fantasy TTRPG show set in an original non-colonial, anti-Orientalist multiverse. If you like what you see, please consider pledging to our Patreon to support the show and get access to a patron-only after-show, early podcast episodes, GM notes, character sheets, and even the chance for your tabletop OC to cameo in our series. Thank you so much for watching, and enjoy. The Chaos Protocol is a dark fantasy series that may contain content that is triggering for some viewers. Content warnings for this episode include fantasy violence, blood, physical immobilization, romance, complex relationships, conflict between loved ones, grief, guns as weaponry, sudden and extreme falling, jumping from great heights, and apocalypse. Arc 3, Episode 32. A Singing Moon Bleeds. From Praying Beside the Teeth That Killed Me by Connie Chang. I can do it. Doesn't have to be you. I'd be happy to go. Always the hero, aren't we? I'm just saying it's dangerous out there. I can handle myself. Besides, they're mine.
They're mine too.
You should have seen this coming. Hey, now we're all in this together.
I should have seen this coming.
You can't keep going out there. It gets worse every time you come back.
It won't take long.
I can go. I can go. I'm going. Just be safe, okay? As safe as you can be, anyway.
Like I said, it won't take long.
Bring back a souvenir? That's hardly appropriate.
I'll be back soon.
Try not to get eaten. Yes. Try not to get eaten. Seir. You fly through the air, punched in the sternum by the blunt end of Amaru's javelin, and you land in the inner sanctum of the Inferno Temple. Monks shout and scatter as you crater against that central shrine, upending valuable offerings and sticks of burning incense. Amaru flies through the threshold and lands gracefully on his feet, golden eyes blazing, and he waves his hand in a come here motion, and the javelin flies back from where it's pummeled you in the stomach and is recalled into their hand. And Amaru says, those golden eyes burning, "You know, as much as I'd like to try out these shiny new wings, I don't actually want to kick your ass right now, Seir. I'm here because of her. You don't know what the hell you're pulling her into, what kind of shit you're getting both of yourselves wrapped up in. You could hurt her if you keep doing this. Hurt her or worse."
Seir spits out a bit of blood out of his mouth as he lifts himself and mumbles under his breath, "I need to apologize to Ginseng." And he gets up, holds himself in a stance, watching Amaru, every movement that Z makes. And he says, "You don't think I know that? Amaru. Amaru, I love her. I have always loved her. I spent more of my life loving her than I have not. I don't even remember a time where I don't. I was too young. And I know you do too. So please, Amaru, let us go. Trust that I love her enough to protect her
golden eyes bore into bright blue ones, and in this moment we sense a resonance between these two men. Both of you love her. Both of you were saved by her magic. And it is because of this resonance that Amaru grips his javelin even tighter and says, if you really love her, like you claim, stop doing this. This is only going to get worse and worse and worse. Just come back. We will figure this out together. You will ruin yourself if you don't. You will doom her.
There's silence in the halls of this sanctum. And Seir hears the words that Amaru says, and he only hears one phrase: "You are not my brother, you are my doom." You think I don't know that? And Seir starts pacing like a tiger, matching Amaru, circling Z around this sanctum, holding his posture forward through the broken debris, shattered ceramic and stone and stained glass. I did this, Hendrix. I know what doom I wrought. But maybe that's our curse, isn't it, Hendrix? Maybe that's what we wrought around her. Doom. Only to be saved by her. And her alone.
Then let her go. Let her come back. Don't
I
do
can't
this
let that
around-
happen!
Don't drag her into this even more than you already have!
I'm not dragging her into anything, Hendrix. I can't let her go back. I can't let her be bound again. I won't allow it.
I will never forgive you if something happens to her because of you. Because I couldn't stop you here.
Then you'll have to stop me then, won't you?
And as you gesture at Amaru to come forward, they cock their hand back, that javelin burning in their grip, and then, falling from the 8th story of the pagoda roof, silent as a fucking bat, deadly as an assassin's blade, is Ash. They land on your back, Seir, with impossible grace and lightness in the bare seconds before you and Amaru collide, and in 3 unforgiving, medically precise blows against your pressure points, the sciatic nerve against your outer thigh, the brachial plexus of your collarbone, the yin tongue between your eyebrows, that vulnerable third eye, they lock your body in place. Please take the tier 3 status, body locked. Amaru grits his teeth as he pauses in midair, bat wings flapping, and he signs to Ash. Ash! That's enough! We're not supposed to bring them back by force like this. I just want to teach him a lesson, make him listen to me. Seir, as you're frozen, you have 1 beat to let an emotion kind of drain on your face. What is it?
Where the fuck is vengeance when I fucking need it?
And then, as though hearing your cry for violence, peeling away from the shadows behind that ancestral shrine, invisible until this very moment, even to you, Seir, is Ye Ke. With an expression of vicious protectiveness, they lunge toward the flickering shadow that your frozen body casts against the candlelight, and they slam clawed hands onto the wooden slats of the pagoda floor, and they snarl, "Get the fuck away from him!" and Yinghe rakes his nails in a wide arc toward their knee, ripping up fragments of timber, puppeting your body through your shadow. And Yinghe wrenches you free from this lock using her own power, and I would like you to replace body locked with puppeted. While you are in this state, you and Yinghe can fight as one. You can do whatever you want, and their shadow magic will empower your blows.
Neela! And he feels each finger being moved by tendrils of shadow and feels his toes move beneath these combat boots that he wears as he shifts and moves. Just like on the roof.
Yes. Even more. Let's kick their ass.
Let's go!
And you and Yinghe and Ash and Amaru collide. How are you springing into action? What is the skill you'd like to invoke here?
The skill I'd like to invoke here is Hunt. Seir runs and fakes a haymaker over, launching his fist upright to slam down on Amaru, and then ducks behind Amaru instead to set up Yinghe and just kind of like toss Hendrix over to Yinghe instead. And he is evoking the same movements that Artemis has taught him again and again and again. Wait for them to come to you.
Okay.
And once you do, don't let them go.
I love it. We are going to roll against each other for this. I'm going to give you an extra D because of Yinghe's help here. But in this moment, as you cock your hand back in this feint, Amaru's power, Amaru's dark gift, you see it flare as he cocks his javelin back once more and throws it forward toward you with the blunt end. And Amaru's gift is the gift of the fallen. Amaru's soul resonates with the divinity of Inferno. He can call upon the ancestor gods of this plane to witness him in moments of glory, giving him a +1 die to all rolls while he is in or near a holy place, which this definitely counts as. Moreover, Amaru can mark another undead as wicked, which gives him a +1 effect to all rolls he makes against them until dawn. And that undead is gonna be you, Seir. So, I will roll for Amaru. Amaru's position here is risky. The effect is great. Your position is risky. The effect is standard. Go for it.
All right. So, Hunt. Is there moonlight now that we're breaking into the temple sanctum?
You know what? I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. There's a shaft of moonlight coming in from like a broken piece of roof.
And a D from Yinghe. That is 4 dice total.
Okay.
All right. Woohoo! Yippee! That is a 6 and a 5 and a 4 and a 2.
6, a 5, 4, and a 2. Amaru got a 6, a 5, a 5, and a 1. That sounds pretty evenly matched to me. So, you feint, Amaru sees the feint coming. Amaru, too, was feinting, the two of you bluffing, acting as though Z was going toward you when really that javelin was going toward Yinghe this entire time. So as your eyes kind of flash past him, that like haymaker kind of just like soaring through the air, cresting above Amaru's head, Amaru kind of leans back like someone going underneath a pole and chucks that javelin toward Yinghe's hands specifically, where they're placed down on your shadow, empowering you. And Yinghe's eyes flash up with silver, and at the same time they wrench their hands to the side, and you feel yourself move in midair as though you were suspended through like telekinesis, and you fly around in a wide arc and collide in perfect synchronicity with Ash, who was coming out of the shadows out of nowhere, also launching themselves toward Yinghe, but Yinghe uses your body almost as like a battering ram against Ash, and the two of you are on a collision course to collide. But at the last moment, as Ash is flying toward Yinghe, their eyes go wide, they look at you, and they roll and tuck out of the way, so you end up crashing and smashing into the shrine because of and it buffets you. But neither Amaru or Ash get a hit on you as that javelin goes wide and kind of like hits the ground empty, not finding its mark. Ash was able to catch this ploy coming out of nowhere because of their dark gift, the gift of the current. Ash is attuned to the spiritual current that flows through all undead and can manipulate their soul force upon contact, giving them a +1 die to channeling and wrecking. Moreover, Ash can never be surprised by another undead as they can sense their soul from any direction, hence not being caught by your body. And bam! You smash into the shrine as the four of you kind of spring apart, as a draw kind of resounds in the middle of this space.
And Seir looks over to Ying and says, "Thanks!" And in this moment, as he is locking eyes with the two of them, we're running out of time. We have to leave. He needs to rendezvous with Nova. And they're faster than him, so he has to compensate for that. And he looks and darts his eyes around. He looks back to that bracelet of his, to patience. He needs to hold them down somehow. Connie, I would like to, as reality and the journey is unraveling, turn patience back into its crescent blade form.
Okay, I like that. That's gonna take some channeling, though. You don't usually do this. You are bending, stretching the absolute limits of Inferno's magic here, so I need you to channel for me to do
Yes,
that.
I will, and I have nothing in that at all. May I suggest a command, maybe?
You know what? Usually I would let you say yes, and the system really
That's
wants
fair.
the players to bring rolls forward, but this
That's
feels
fair.
distinctly very magical. And what
That's
you're doing
okay.
feels like pulling on the river, so.
I have 1 die from the moon and 1 die from Yinghe. Thanks, Moon! Love you,
The moon
Artemis.
is here for you tonight. Luminous mama.
What about the power of Lumi love?
If Seir gets that, then I would say Amaru also gets to roll with the power of Lumi Love.
Ooh, rough.
It's okay. I believe in 2d6. Let's go. Okay. Could be worse. That's a 5 out of 3.
Okay, mixed success. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. There's a drawback, which I'm going to incur thirst on you. I need you to mark 3 pips of thirst. You don't usually
Absolutely.
use magic like this. It takes a lot out of you to draw this small band into this large weapon. How does the strain tear against your own seams?
Seir holds onto the wristband where patience is a little crescent blade notch in, and he just goes, come on, form, and he snaps the bracelet in half, and the leather begins to wrap and mold, and we see blood begin to peel out of the pores of his skin from the tips of his fingers to form the metal curve of each notch in the blade. Come on. And he, in one swift motion, grabs the leather hilt of the blade, and the metal forms from the crimson blood of his own thirst.
Yeah, the claw of this blade kind of ratchets forward as though it were the claw of a massive werewolf, bathes in the light of the silver moon. And at the same time, you feel that shadowy connection between you and Yinghe wobble and then suddenly sever as Ash pummels into Yinghe with a open palm strike right to the solar plexus. And Yinghe flies back and craters into a nearby pillar. The entire pagoda shakes. With that, big plumes of dust come up. Yinghe lets out a
Mila!
just do it. It's fine. I'm fine. I've got this. I've got them. Honestly, it's kind of fun as they pull themselves out of the pillar, and Ash kind of crouches like a panther waiting, head cocked to the side, and Amaru is descending on you just as you're distracted at Yinghe. That javelin's almost there, and then Rhododendron. As our liaison into Inferno, as you are pulling on all of these webs, weaving what you must to help House Nova, an ally arrives in the nick of time to help Seir and Yinghe. And on that ally's behalf, can you please roll 66 for me?
Oh my god, I wasn't. Okay, one second.
God. Connie, how many times I gotta tell you? You gotta be warning us for the plethora of dice that you gonna be having us roll ahead of time.
I already rolled D4 tonight.
Okay. I have rolled 66 on behalf of this ally. They got a 4, a 6, a 6, a 5, a 2, and a 1.
That is a crit. Hurtling out of nowhere, it is Ash, the one and only person who clocks this before it happens. Ash, eyes go wide. They whip their head back toward Amaru and start to sign frantically, but Amaru doesn't see it in time as a fucking huge cement block flies through the air and clips Amaru right dead center of the back. Wings crumple and Amaru slams onto the ground and craters the floor. And as the dust plumes away out of the entrance, we see silhouetted 2 figures against the moonlight at their back. One of them is the woman who threw the cement block, Aditi Lanius. She's not even rolling one of her shoulders. She just looks annoyed and vaguely frustrated and a little bored. The other person is the architect of sorrow, Tivosh. They're leaning on their cane, pinching, right, the skin of their face between their eyebrows as they witness their mom, like, knock a flying angel out of the air. They lean against their cane once more, and those crimson eyes fall on you, Seir, and on Yinghe. Hey, House Nova, better get out of here while you can. And Aditi's stalwart red eyes fall on the 2 of you as well. Listen, I told myself I wouldn't get involved in this shit. Not tonight. But Rhododendron made me an offer I couldn't refuse. So get the fuck out of here, Nova. And if you show your face around here again, you, and her finger points at you, Seir, I'm gonna drop you off the roof of a skyscraper.
Deal.
Yep, that sounds good. Come on!
Yeah.
And Yinghe pulls themselves to their feet.
Seir helps Yinghe pull themselves to their feet, and holding patience, he goes, I owe you one, Architect of Sorrow, and we'll start darting away.
I look forward to the night I can cash in that favor. I have a feeling it won't be anytime soon, though. As you and Yinghe run and just book it past them. As you do, I am going to tick another wedge. That is 3 out of 8. As the 2 of you flee this pagoda, Tivosh nods at their mother and they turn and look at you leave. They start to take a step down from the pagoda, letting Aditi handle this. They have other work to do on their own. As this happens, the reality around the ancestral statues lining the interior of this pagoda bends. And for a second, it appears as though their still stone faces flicker to life. We see eyes roving, mouths moving, fangs flashing. And then they all grow still, turning into rock once more. The reality of Inferno is getting more and more unwoven, and time is not on your side, Nova. Speaking of time, Lumièra. You are halfway down the aisle of the cathedral, your back to Cove, her body suspended in that liminal when you feel it. The hairline fracture within your bubble. Cove. Against all possible odds, you feel her emotions so strong, so powerful as she's kneeling there, hand halfway toward her heart. Grief. Deep grief, sorrow, rage that you yourself have felt before. You feel it resonating through that hairline fracture, and then the hairline fracture grows wider and wider and wider, more wider and wider and wider. More cracks start to form in the surface of your liminal. It is moments away from shattering open. My question for you, Lumièra, is, do you look at her one last time before you go?
I think in the midst of all of this, Lumièra feels it's so much pain that it's numbing, but not pain like her chronergy being capped. It's sorrow, it's loss. She gets this feeling. So I think she starts running after she puts Cove in the liminal. And then she thinks about it. She has to get out of here, but she is very quick in her handwriting as well as impeccable. So she reaches into her cloak, takes out the chronergy book, the very, very last page, and pulls out the pen the gentlewoman scholar gave her. And she writes just briefly, "Magic told the truth. It has to be this way. I believe in you, Lumièra." And she quickly rips it out, folds it, and kind of looks behind her at that moment, taking one last look at Cove, and just drops it on the ground where she stands, and then turns to run again.
It is Cove's dark gift that punches through the containment of your liminal, that shatters it open, accompanied by a massive, deep, animal-like wail of grief and sorrow and rage. Cove's dark gift, the gift of the night. Her undead powers stem from her deep, unwavering loyalty to a person, to a cause. And whenever she makes rolls to protect that person or cause, she always gets an extra die. 2 extra die if she herself stands to lose something valuable and personal in the process. And here, yes, she is losing something valuable and personal. She's losing you, Lumièra. She's losing you. And as the liminal shatters around her and she breaks free, you can feel... Sorry, one of my spikes fell off. One of my spikes shattered. It's the one that's been giving me trouble. Anyway. As the liminal shatters and Cove breaks free, you can feel her heartbreak, her devastation pouring off of her in waves. You can feel something else too, something you know so deeply and intimately, a feeling of abandonment. She's abandoned all over again, and this time you can feel in her conflicting, roaring sea of emotions. This time it's you, Lumièra, who's doing it to her. You who knows exactly how bad she's hurting in this moment. You who had sworn yourself you'd never let someone else feel this pain again, but now you have to. You have to, Lumièra. And that's the deep tragedy of it all. The deep tragedy of the situation. As Cove breaks free, as you turn and walk, as your note flutters to the ground, as the liminal shatters, I will tick one more wedge on the clock of entropy. We are at 4 out of 8. And as you take a step outside of the Cathedral of the Weeping Saint, there is another shattering noise that accompanies the breakage of the liminal. As one by one, every piece of stained glass in this space breaks. It smashes inward, raining color and violence onto the pews that flank this aisle. Cove does not move at all. She continues to be bent over in sadness and grief, but you can sense it, Lumièra. The pressure of Nova's presence in Inferno, the threads of this world unweaving. You have to go, now. And you do. And as you step outside of the cathedral, there are 2 forms waiting for you, 2 people. In the shade of a nearby tree, you see the slender and agile form of Willow Thakrar. And behind her, her child, Rhododendron. Willow looks at you, yellow eye flicking to the shattered stained glass in the hallway beyond within this cathedral. The eye goes back to you, Lumièra. Love truly is the most vicious weapon of all.
And sometimes, in relation to me, it is the most painful.
It doesn't seem like you have very much time left.
Thank you.
Ro holds out a hand to pull Lumièra through.
Yeah, she'll take it. She's trembling. Oh, no, that was it.
And holding your hand tight, Ro will whip you around and will start running, almost like pushing you forward into the direction you need to go.
Yeah.
As the two of you book it, Ro, you and your mother exchange a brief glance as Willow rolls her shoulders back and approaches the ramp up toward the cathedral to deal with the weeping knight inside. Xainan, your body is beneath you, laid out flat on its back. You stand exactly where your shoes should be inside this spirit circle, this binding sigil that Naeem has crafted around you. And your ghost looks Naeem dead in the eyes. You're so close, you could reach out and touch him, but of course you also can't do that right now, can you? And Naeem says, Xainan, please just listen. Come home.
At what cost?
Xainan, there's always going to be a cost for everything, for anything. At least with fate, we know what it is. At least with the Syndicate, the patron saints, they can help us. But that, besides, I can't just let you leave like this again. You can't do this to me, Xainan. Not again.
And suddenly, Xainan feels like he's looking in a mirror at his younger self, begging Azalis not to leave, begging Dom and Pyrrha not to leave. But he's the one leaving. And suddenly, he looks to Naeem with the eyes of someone who understands a grief that he never was able to put in perspective from this side. He has to go because his family needs him. Naeem, I would go with you. I would go anywhere with you. But I need you to believe me when I say this isn't about us. This is about our family.
I always knew you had doubt, Xainan. Doubt about fate, doubt about her will. But if you leave, how am I supposed to feel anything else than like you're choosing oblivion over me?
The name of Oblivion, the spectral form, the ghost of Xainan Esch is not a cocksure vampire running through the streets of Inferno. He is Xainan Esch, translucent, but long, single-pointed ear, those sharp slitted eyes, familiar face looking at the man that he loves. precepts are imperfect, just like us, and that they cannot change, my love. I'm sorry.
Don't say that, Xainan. Don't. Please, Esch. Please. And Naeem reaches a hand toward your ghostly face, even though he knows the fingers are not going to make contact. He's a spirit mage, he knows this. The fingers go right through you, and you feel the echo, the whisper, the memory, the possibility of his fingers touching your skin. But it's not real, it's not there. Hand swipes right through. Naeem looks up at you, lips part to say one more thing, and then, barreling out of nowhere, bowling Naeem over in a huge tumble of white fur and snapping teeth, is Maverick. Naeem is completely caught off guard. Maverick slams into Naeem and rolls the spirit mage over, one after the other, and then in front of you is Beauregard. Looking at your ghost, this hunter with those bullet gray eyes, a curious expression trickling across their face, and then the eyes flick down to the spirit sigil, and there's a kind of expression of impressment. Like, they look impressed by the sigil, and then they notice something in the sigil that makes them scoff as they look back up at you. Hang in there.
Don't really have another option. Hi. Help.
Yep. Well, your, boyfriend did not do the sigil well. On purpose, I gather, because everything else about it is, technically perfect. Look at that. It's broken. You can just, step out of it if you wanted to. This feeling of being trapped is just a feeling. All you have to do is, speak your own name to your body, and then you'll pop back in.
Huh. Xainan looks to Beau. Looks down at the circle, not really understanding about it being imperfect. He's like, I don't know, this looks great to me. But he believes it when they tell him that he can just go. And he looks down at his body, cocks his head. Xainan Esch, you get your ass up and you save your family.
And your body obeys. Your ghost falls backward at the same time that your body starts to lurch back to itself. The two of you meet in the middle, and you're back in your own body. It feels like being thrown against a wall, and then you cough. You're there. You're here in the flesh. I need you to just mark one thirst for the experience of all of that. The stress of it all onto your body.
Yep.
And Beau reaches a hand down to help you up to your feet.
Oh, that was disorienting.
I can imagine. An out-of-body experience, especially when you haven't signed up for it, can be rather alarming, but there's something fun about it too. Listen, you better get out of here before they escape her. And we see just Maverick isn't trying to hurt or maim Naeem at all, is just trying to restrain Naeem. Almost seems like a massive, oversized wolf puppy in a lot of ways, just lying on Naeem, who's like kind of scrambling underneath her. Like the calligraphy brush flashing bits of blood going sideways. And we see lots of sutra papers starting to like onto Mav's form and burning into her fur, but it's almost like she doesn't feel it. Right now, she's so massive and bathed in the light of the moon. It'll take a little bit more for Naeem to get free, but he will get free soon.
Xainan looks to Naeem, and 1,000 apologies spill out of him in a heartbeat. 1,000 nights that they are not spending together, and regret that he couldn't say more, that he couldn't talk for days and months with Naeem about this choice. He has seconds. And he can't say enough words, so he just looks to Beau, pulls his eyes away. It takes more strength than he has in every fiber of his being as he lets out the heaviest sigh, wills himself to stay whole. He cannot fade into a knife. And he turns.
Bo claps a hand on your shoulder, sensing this from you, and nods, jerking their head toward the end of the street for something for you to see. At the same time, they unholster their own pistol from their hip, and a small grin eats at the side of their face. Xainan, as you begin to run and flee down this sidewalk, you see what Bo was jerking their head toward. Moxie. Anugata's motorcycle with a brand new paint job with Anu on the back. There's a helmet on her head with the visor flipped up, and as you approach, she tosses you a spare motorcycle helmet.
Xainan
Come
puts
on!
his hat under his arm, just one-handedly puts the helmet on. Hey, you.
Your chariot awaits.
You're too kind to me. And Xainan walks up to the bike, seeing this not only as a gesture of friendship from a family he could have joined, but also proof that things can change and that mistakes can make people closer. And he sends out a little prayer to somewhere that Naeem might end the same way. And he hops on the back of the bike.
Anugata slams the visor down on her helmet, waits for you to do the same, jerks her head back and says, "Hang on tight, I'm not slowing down for you."
All
You
right.
fly off, you fly off.
Woo!
And as she kind of revs the engine and speeds down Restaurant Road, narrowly avoiding pedestrians, clipping past red lights, orange lights, green lights on other sides, she's just heedless of traffic laws. Xainan, you see something strange in the faces of the pedestrians the two of you race by, and I'm going to take another wedge on that clock and bring us up to 5 out of 8. Color and sound blur together, streaks of light painting haunting after images in the wake of their sheer speed. You see the faces of mortals from decades past in the city, dressed in traditional clothes, the faces of mortals who do not exist yet, but someday might. Past, present, and future are starting to meld together in one unintelligible jumble. The longer you stay here, Xainan, the worse this is gonna get. Inferno is starting to burst at the seams. Strike Team Nova. One by one by one by one in your separate parts of Inferno, each of you finds your way to the archway. It is half crumbled in the slender moonlight, a reminder of the clash between Tavash Lanius and Rhododendron Thakrar one night prior. One night prior? Has it truly only been one night? So much has happened since then. Weeks have passed, it feels like months, maybe even years. Time has a funny habit of being relative. Lumièra and Ro, you show up at the same time as Seir, Yinghe, and moments behind, Tavash. You glimpse each other from opposite shores of the creek, your team's familiar silhouette blurred beneath the shadows of swaying trees. You are not alone here. More figures stand beneath this archway. We see Sakti stubbing a cigarette out against crumbling brick, and Diablo leaning forward, placing a hand on Professor Ifueco's shoulder to draw her attention. Toyin lowers her head. Up until this point, her face has been tilted toward the sky, her eyes completely gold, no scleras or pupils at all. As she blinks, the gold retreats back into the hazel of her irises, and the red river tenses around her. She's been using her dark gift to listen to the entirety of Inferno, to span their thoughts with psychic tendrils, to hear their secrets, to sense the whereabouts of Strike Team Phoenix. And with a meaningful look between the professor and the twice bitten, it's clear that Toyin has been helping Ro coordinate Inferno's defenses. There is a roaring noise, a guttering of rubber, kicking up dirt, and a cone of light slices through the common, blinking rapidly against the slender, dark bodies of trees. Moxie skids to a stop at the mouth of the broken archway. 2 riders on her back, Anu and Xainan. Sakti raises her chin in Moxie's direction. Nice to see you all in one piece.
Hey.
Zai!
Are y'all okay?
Huh.
You see
We're
blood
here.
trickling down Sair's mouth and the crescent blade forming in his left hand. Never better.
Doors. We need doors.
Fuck! Doors!
Door. Door.
Door.
Just one.
Door.
While you say this, Seir, Sakti flicks the stub of her cigarette into a nearby trash can and nods at you, Xainan, as you get off the back of Anu's bike and take your helmet off. And Anu says, listen, Esch, we're gonna run distraction, okay? Do whatever we have to do here, and we're gonna buy your house some time. Jerks her head towards Sakti, who puts the helmet on and kind of swings one leg over the back of Moxie.
Xainan clasps Anu on the arm, gives her a fond smile. Would have joined you if I could.
Yeah, I know you would. All right, see you later, Nova. Esch. And there's a... as she revs the engine, Sakti slams the visor down, gives your team a kind of 2-fingered salute off of her helm, and they race off. And Xainan, you watch Moxie peel off into the distance until that headlight winks out of you. And that realization you had back on Restaurant Row about Piera, about Dom, about Azalis, about the mirror of yourself reflected on Naeem's face. It rises up within you again. Anugata had said, see you later. But will she? They'll never know what happens to you, Xainan. Not after this.
Xainan takes a moment and looks out over the Inferno Commons, sees a dust storm, sees the oblivion that maybe they did bring here. And he falters again. And he turns to face Nova.
And Xainan, Diablo is at your side. A hand is on your shoulder, and you see something new on his person, a necklace with a golden pendant of a black, swooping avian creature glinting around his collarbones. Looks like Dante's delivered at least one of the 2 packages. It's your necklace.
Hey. And Xainan smiles seeing the necklace, and he knows that the other one is as close as you can get to planting seeds in Inferno. Gifted to Dante, a cherry blossom. She would have loved it here. And he leans against Diablo, searching for stability.
You find it.
He's teetering.
Diablo is steady against you. He's there. He knows something monumental is coming for you. That this isn't just about skipping town for a few weeks and lying low. Diablo turns to face you, House Nova, those eyes lighting on Tavash and then Rhododendron in the same turn. And Diablo says, Inferno has rallied around you, Nova. Rhododendron's seen to it. They've been pulling strings, cashing in favors, promising debts, some of which I personally think are a bit foolhardy, but desperate times, right, Ro?
Right.
They're weaving. So now it's time for your crew to make good on it. What's this about doors?
Just hopefully the one door. And we see Seir like tense. He's holding Patience in one hand and holding it out as if looking for something, that sensation he felt so long ago on Earth, this compulsion of a door that's waiting to open somewhere, but he thinks of safety. He thinks of a path. He just needs to open a path, a road for them to go. And he's going to attempt to open one door.
Seir, before you do, you start to like center yourself, right? And sense the red river around you. And you and the rest of Nova and any undead here can sense the river stirring in response. But before this magic comes to fruition, Lumièra, the professor, Toyin, is still underneath that archway a couple of feet away from your group, kind of collecting herself after channeling and sensing all of Inferno underneath her watchful psychic eyes. And those eyes, Hazel now, fall on you.
Seems like I wasn't the only one that was hiding something, Toyin.
Ah. And you see that there's a small nosebleed starting to form under one nostril that's like dribbling down her mouth, and she wipes it away carefully. I am doing what I must for the home I have, for the futures all of us would like to invite to Inferno. And I'm doing it for you, Lumièra. It may be hard. It's been a minute since I've used my dark gift like this. I am no longer the young, hungry vampire I used to be, but I'm not going to falter here. Not for a moment.
Thank you. For everything. Not just for this, but for helping me see myself wholly, truly, and without fear. And she says that last part confidently, but there's still that layer of fear underneath it. But she looks back over to her family, and she gets bolstered by that.
Toyin gives you a nod, a meaningful look. She believes in you. She knows you can do this. And she says to you, feeling fear, that doesn't make one weak or strong. Being true to yourself, never once shying away from who you are in the face of that fear. That is what matters. And you, my girl, you are the most courageous person I've ever met. You are going to be just fine, no matter where you go. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You hear me?
Yeah. And Lumièra nods at that. Her entire body posture goes extremely soft, as does her eyes. My girl. It's wildly how similar to the brave girl that Artemis calls her. And she doesn't even... Toyin doesn't even realize that bolstering of spirit that gives her. She is smart. She is brave. She can do this.
Lumièra.
So, she steps back with her family, the people she loves most. And Seir, you feel her hand grip your shoulder. That feeling of confidence, not just in herself, but in you too. She knows you can do this.
He squeezes your hand with his right. And he looks one last time over to Xainan's bright eyes. That boyish look. Just one door for my family. Please. Just a path, a connection, please.
Xainan's eyes are full of tears as regret whips deep inside of him like a storm. Regret not just for what happened with Naeem, not just for the decade of pain that he caused himself for not understanding why his family left him, but that he has to leave another home. How many homes in one day can he lose? And he looks to Diablo. You gonna be alright?
We'll be just fine. It's your house we're all rallying around. And look, I can read between the lines. I know your crew, when you get out of here, might not come back for a long time. Might not come back ever. And at that, Diablo's eyes falter. Something wavers behind them as he looks at you. He takes in a deep breath, gathers himself for you, for this task at hand, not letting himself be distracted by preemptive grief. He'll let himself mourn later. And he says to all of you, a promise to you all, Nova, but also a promise to himself, a glimmer of hope. A lighthouse he's erecting in his own name. You'll always have a place to return to here. A couch to crash on, as long as you're able to find your ways back to us.
It's appreciated.
Alright then, House Nova. Let's see what you got in terms of doors. Seir, I need you to channel.
Seir thinks of the last time he did this. He thinks of every lesson that Artemis has ever taught him. Of wayfinding, of finding paths through ancient forests as a child. He thinks of Sing, who felt everything he did. Every pulse in the journey. Who knew the disaster before it struck. And to him, the antlered one behind the darkness. And as he begins to channel and form whatever comes out of this, he yells to Rhododendron. The apartment! It's
What
my
about
journal.
it?
Give it to Yara. Please.
And Ro nods. This entire time, Ro had been posted up on one side of Nova with Tavash on the other in agreement between them to encircle Nova from danger. She'll get it.
Thank you. Teacher. Sister. Father. Please. I'm going to roll one die for the moon.
You can do
And
this.
that is all I have.
Okay. Go for it.
You can do this.
One die for one
Just-
door.
I think in your ear, Lumièra's like, I believe in you. You can do this. Just picture the one thing that you want and let yourself have it. And I think she's saying this. You can tell that she's speaking from personal experience. Like this is almost the feeling that she harkens on to create her own liminals. Picture it in your mind and grab it.
And all Seir wants is a chance. A multiversal, reality-bending chance. That is a 5.
Okay, 5. Mark 5 thirst for me.
Okay.
I
right.
am in rage.
Okay, you're at your maximum capacity right now. You are pushing your body to the limit. Seir, magic tenses around you, pulsing to the rhythm of your unbeating, seizing heart. The cracks in reality widen just a little bit more as you call on the power that surges beyond what Inferno is capable of, beyond the logic of this plane. All of you see gashes flash into existence around you. Red gashes, black gashes, gold gashes, lightning bolts of destruction and creation pressing against the dome of this world, seeking to crush, to implode, to unweave. And then the door appears. A wooden door with a brass handle painted with vibrant and bright colors and patterns. It is painted into existence in the empty space within the broken archway, a substitute for that shattered gateway, and then you are tumbling through it. All of you, even Diablo and Ro and Tavash, and you are free falling through the air that is now the floor, and you are 1,000 feet above Inferno. Mist and clouds and winter current rush past your bodies, your clothes, your hair. The moon is a crescent knife, and it is massive and unforgiving above your heads, and there are doors around you. Around all of you, the metal doors to cars, the revolving doors of hotel lobbies, the massive steel doors of walk-in freezers, infinite doors, so many doors, and they are all open, and they all lead to different places through a glass sliding door.
No.
We see Amaru cratering into Raven's used books like a falling comet. Z picks himself up instantly, flapping their massive bat wings as Beauregard steps over a low crumbled rock wall and reloads a hand crossbow. Through a pub door, we see Cove in the middle of the street, bracing against the front of Anugata's bike with her bare hands, boots tearing up the concrete around her as the bear revs her engine with a bloodthirsty howl of delighted laughter. Through the burned down facade of the old dance hall on River Hill Road, we see a half-transformed Mav tackle Naeem into a pile of old ash as a tidal wave of dust cascades into the air through the reflective doors to a hall of mirrors. We see Ash darting from corner to corner, playing both hunter and hunted as Toyin sits in the center of this space, immeasurably calm, eyes closed, sensing the unsensible with her own psychic prowess. House Nova, you freefall for seconds, for hours, for minutes, for heartbeats. Time and space alike collapse around you as the doors propagate, dozens of them, hundreds of them, showing an infinite array of possibilities, combinations, futures. Amaru and Cove fighting Sakti and Tavash. Naeem and Ash fighting a flock of shrikes, Cove wrestling Mav, Amaru dueling Tingsing, Yara hunting Naeem, Anis biting Ash, endless constellations of violence glimpsed through endless doors, each layered on top of the other. It's impossible to tell what is and what could, or if there's even a meaningful difference between the two at all, and you are falling, and your house is falling, and you sink through that colorful wooden door with its brass handle, and you land. I am ticking my wedge.
This is not what I meant, Doob!
We are at 6 out of 8 for entropy.
Oh, fuck me.
Screaming.
As you gather your bearings, your bodies sore, your minds exhausted, your souls running on fumes, you realize where you are. The Inferno Bridge. Traffic rushes in two directions at 70, 80, 90 miles an hour. The late-night train chugs through the center of this bridge, squealing along iron tracks, blasting through Inferno like a silver bullet. Hundreds of feet below you, the Red River winds, like a blackened vein, its surface glimmering from the pale light of the waxing crescent moon. Your party has landed on a pedestrian walkway, one of two on either side of each direction. A safety railing separates you from the traffic on one side, and on the other, a dizzying drop down to the river. As you gather yourselves, you sense three now familiar presences mere feet away from where you've landed. Tavash is pulling the self to the feet and limping toward Ro and Diablo, both of whom are laid out on the ground, sprawled as well. Diablo is stirring with residual pain, grunting and pushing himself up. And what about you, Ro?
Ro is scrambling as quickly as Ray can to their knees, to their feet, trying to get up. Are we on the same side of the bridge?
Yes, you are. You're just a few feet separated from each other.
Ro gets up and is, I think, at first just trying to get their bearings, just trying to understand where we are, what just happened, and their yellow eyes flick to Tavash, Diablo, checking to see if they're okay, and then flick to Nova to check to see if they're okay.
All of you are in one piece. It was just a rough landing, and going through that takes a lot out of you.
Nova!
Blood is
That was
pouring
not
from
just
Seir's
one door.
There's tears of blood that are falling down Seir's cheek. Fuck.
Nova.
Okay.
And Xainan does a head count 1, 2, 3, and pats the top of his own hat.
I'm okay too. I'm fine. I broke the fall a little bit with my own shadow. And he
Ow.
uses a safety railing and is like pulling Tada self to Tada feet. And Tavash helps you to your feet, Ro, as they kind of lean on their cane. They're the first one up. I don't know what kind of architecture you've been studying, Seir, but doors aren't supposed to do that.
I didn't study any.
Obviously, I have notes, but I can give those later.
And Ro holds out a hand to Diablo, trying to help him up as well,
Yes.
to make sure that everybody is taken care of.
Diablo takes your hand with one hand and Tabash's arm with the other, and the two of you help Diablo up. And as he stands, he kind of stumbles into a hug between the three of you. Diablo just pulls the two of you close. There's a moment as the three of you are reunited like this for the first time in such a long time. And despite the everything, despite the tumbling and the falling and the fleeing and the running, there's something comforting in this moment. Something nostalgic and familiar, but also so new, different, possible.
Ro hasn't felt both of their breaths, felt both of their bodies at the same time in forever. Not in their unlife. It's a mortal memory, one that lives in a different life, one that Ro doesn't live anymore, but one that they miss so dearly. And despite the urgency of the situation, Ro allows themselves to sit in this moment for just a beat, 2 beats, not wanting it to end, before they let out with almost a sigh, breathy, "We have to help them."
Yes, we do. Diablo nods as well, and the three of you, in the same gesture, kind of lean your foreheads away from each other and turn to face Nova. Speaking of which, Nova, Seir, Cai K has made their way over to you. All three of you are now on your feet at this point, maybe like rubbing various parts of your body, using the safety railing as support. And Cai K is saying to you rather urgently, This isn't off Inferno, Seir. Do you think you have one more door in you?
And
Seir
I
doesn't
do
know.
mean just one. Please.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hey, and Xainan goes and puts his hand on Seir's cheek, feeling all that blood, looking him in the eye. Hey, this isn't on you. It's okay.
Ro and the crew walk up towards Nova, And Ro looks at Seir. Like he said, it's not all on you. How can we help?
I don't know. I thought it was just the one door. I just need a door. I just need a chance. Something, but I don't know if I have.
Seir, make a choice. You have to choose one. Make a choice.
What door do you feel most comfortable with? What's the door that you feel the most safe and comforted walking into? Picture that.
Seir looks down at the Red River. There's only one door that Seir could possibly feel the safest in. And it is a door behind which Sing might open. He feels weak. He is one half of a whole. And he looks at the Red River, and it's less of a call, less of a channel, definitely not a command. It is a mewling, begging from a broken brother. Sing. I just need... I'm not strong enough to open it. I just need you to open a door for me. Someone open a door for me. Let me in. Please.
Seir, you reach for it. The door that eludes you. And as your hand physically stretches over the railing toward that open expanse of red that is the river cutting through Inferno, all of you sense it. All of you. All at once. Power tenses behind you, beneath you. Someone else, Seir, on the other side of your pleading, your begging, your prayer, turns a knob and opens a door.
Sing.
Not just a door. A portal. It swirls into existence beneath the bridge, a void black, yawning gateway to another place, another dimension, another plane. You cannot see what's on the other side, but you know it will take you far, far away from this place. It is dozens and dozens and dozens of feet beneath you, flickering faintly like a yawning dark maw above the rushing tide of the Red River, and Lumièra, you in particular can sense it. The entity on the other side of that portal. The person who opened this gateway to you, to your party. This presence feels strange and familiar at the same time, not ominous, not compassionate, just curious. It is the presence of the hitchhiker. The presence of Kimani.
I was going to say, I think there's a piece of Lumièra that's feels and gets like a sensor for people that she puts in her liminal. So like she's able to sense them around, like once she's had your life essence amongst this liminal, it and she can manipulate it, she feels it immensely. So when Seir says sing, Lumièra gasps and goes, "No, Connie."
Kimani, how does your voice greet Strike Team Nova from the other side?
Glitching on every phone, every computer, every screen, interjecting like a laughing anomaly. We hear Kimani, the traveler of the journey, under the archway like a ray of hope crystallized in human form. She pulls out vampire teeth, looks through the door, and says, That's not right. Hey, besties. Come on. We gotta go.
This is a shot. We have to go now.
And that's when the next train comes. The steel bullet speeds through this arterial track of the bridge faster than the eye can follow, but it is not alone. Leaping off the roof, landing in the middle of midnight traffic, is Strike Team Phoenix. There is a cacophony of honks, of tire screeches, of trucks and buses and mopeds screaming to a halt as Naeem, Amaru, Cove, and Ash roll to a stand, desperate eyes fixed on your party. They look battered, they look bruised by Inferno coming together to stop them, but they are here now. And their final plea does not come in the form of words, they just look at you. And Ro, that's when you sense Tavash and Diablo on either side of you move forward, protectively standing between these two houses.
Ro sees the four of them in front, threatening to keep Nova here to destroy whatever is happening here, and they can't let it. They've made a choice. They deserve to get to see that choice to the end. And so Ro turns around, rear back to Strike Team Phoenix, and looks at Nova. Good night. Good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say good night till it be morrow. You are a lover. Borrow Inferno's wings and soar with them above a common bound. And with that last plea, Ro turns back around, squaring themselves up to Strike Team Phoenix. They will not get to House Nova. Not tonight.
And I'm going to take another wedge. 7 out of 8. The crescent moon above your heads wavers, and there is a burst of light, silver and pale and bright, 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 like the sun. The moon is full, and glorious crimson cracks splintering outward as though the very dome of Inferno's sky were about to implode or burst or become born anew. You can sense it, Nova. That final plea from Ro, the last pounds of pressure exerting force on the reality of Inferno. It is time to make your decision. Do you go home? Or do you take a leap of faith?
Xainan remembers what Kimani said when we were chasing her around Trans, of how he got there. Jumped off a cliff. And all he can think is, they better be right. And he holds his hands out to either side. Nova, we're going.
Okay.
Seir wraps his arms around Nova. On 3, 1, 2. He lies. He pushes his arm too.
And Nova, you fall. And as you do, you can sense the reality of this place starting to stitch itself back together, as though the journey herself, himself, themselves were aware that you are choosing to avoid entropy, to spare and protect this plane. And as you plummet, your heart's plunging up to your necks, your undead blood rising in your veins, you see her. Shouldering past Naeem, dressed in armor you don't understand, holding a weapon that strikes terror beyond the flesh into the depths of soul itself, the patron saint of mortals, Artemis. Those golden, mismatched, beautiful, ill-fitting eyes land on each of you, watching you fall. And then you tumble down into the portal. And you're gone. And we're gonna end the session there. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the grand finale of Arc 3. This has been one hell of a ride. I truly could not have asked for a better cast or crew to tell this story with. I have so much more to say. I have many prepared notes here, and you all should definitely stay in your seats because there are some exciting announcements ahead. But before we get there, I'd love for my cast to introduce themselves one last time for Arc 3. And just like with the intros, let's save Hamnah for last as our special Arc 3 guest. So, Val, I believe, take it away.
Hello, everyone. My name is Valiant. Love wins. Dorian. I use he, him, his pronouns. You can find me all across the internet at Valiant Dorian or also Spirit Bear. Please enjoy that lovely treasure hunt I just set you on, and thank you all for coming to the grand finale of Arc 3 of the Chaos Protocol. I've had the greatest pleasure of playing Seir, door opening Shadow of the Chosen One, who uses he, they pronouns. I'm gonna pass on over to Gay Dad of the Hour.
Hi everyone, I'm the gay dad of the hour. I'm Kai. I use he, they, and she pronouns. You can find me all over the internet as Estelle of Imladris, and back here for whatever comes next for Nova and Mr. Xainan Esch. Thank you all so much for being here for this arc, and I'm just gonna pass it on over to Sam.
Hello, it is me, Samm. Wow. Outros, right? Okay, yeah, I swear I've done this before. The music was horrifically on point for there. Hi, I am Sam Star. I play Lumièra. You can find me all across the interwebs at the Lust for Life X. Trust in each other. Passing it on over to our bestest, most fantabulous, just heartbreakingly devastating and unbelievably talented guest star for this arc.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rhododendron Thakrar, and I know I'm supposed to say goodbye, but I have one last thing to show you. There's something you should see.
Are you sure you want to go back, Jean?
Yeah. You showed me how, and I think I'm ready.
You've always had this power. I'm glad you're choosing to use it now.
Then let's begin. As Nova falls, I still don't truly have my bearings. No one in Inferno does. Bodies are sore, minds are exhausted, souls are running on fumes. After all, disentangling threads from a tightly woven tapestry is not so easily done. But as Nova falls, we find ourselves back at the Inferno Bridge. Traffic continues to rush in two directions, undisturbed by the events at the bridge. Hundreds of feet below, the Red River never stops winding, pumping blood through the veins of the city, its surface disturbed by the 4 strike team agents that had plunged into it. I would say never to be seen again, but I hope that isn't true. Standing next to Diablo on one side and Tavash on the other, facing down these 4 strangers that came for our friends. Atop the bridge, I see you, Artemis. I'm not sure who you are, what you are, but I see you. Having stepped out of the pages of a fairy tale, a figure that no longer lives and breathes in Inferno, but lives and breathes in our mythos. The mother of werewolves. At least, I think that's what I see. There is a mirage shimmering and shifting like a web of gossamer clouding you, obstructing your true form. But that web shines bright, reflecting a light far off. A blessed moon larger than life standing in front of me. The moon, a vampire's first and most trusted companion. You, Artemis, the mother of werewolves, the predecessor of all werewolves, loom and tower over me, over us, over Inferno. Your very presence strains the world around you as if reality was struggling to keep you here, in this place, in this time. I can see the edges of reality beginning to fray around you. There is a thick gray fur sprouting from your head, a ragged mane of silver. You are somehow transformed, and not a half transformation that I can't quite wrap my head around. And it's only by the sound of your breathing that I'm brought back to the moment, because when you breathe, the rusty chain collar at your neck rattles. You are the moon, yes, and yet you are haloed by it too. A full moon encircling your head, a maw beckoning you back into it. The gravity of that full moon feels impossibly great. I don't know how you withstand its pull, how you stand here now instead of rushing back into its teeth. Yet you stand here, Artemis, in a form that is deeply divine and strange and unworldly and comforting in a distant way. In a way I can't touch, but know is there. Like the moon, my first and most trusted companion. But despite that comfort, you burn me. You burn me and all the other vampires that behold you because your eyes are twin suns. It feels sacrilegious for the sun to be so close to the moon to touch it. Those eyes should not be on that face, and yet I can't deny the pain that I feel when you regard me with that horrible, terrible gaze. Artemis, the mother of werewolves, what calls the moon down to Inferno on this tragic night?
Old oaths, twice bitten, carved in blood, far, far more ancient than even your Red River. I'm sorry for intruding like this. I won't make it a habit. I promise. She raises a hand, a claw, gestures back at the four strangers behind her. You may return home now, Phoenix. There is nothing left for you to do here. We'll update your mission back at the Syndicate. And then she turns her eyes upward, watching a carrion crow fly overhead, something silvered glinting between its beak. She doesn't look at you. She doesn't turn that white, hot, horrible gaze back on you, and perhaps you think for a moment it's out of kindness. Out of kindness. And this time when she speaks, she is addressing you. You'll be alone now from the rest of us. Untethered as we are beyond the veil. Unknit from the tapestry, seen only by the empty chaos of this journey. Is that something that you can live with, Rhododendron Thakrar? Is that something your world can live with?
We chose this. And they chose theirs. And if that means that we can never see each other again, then so it must be. As much as it burns me, so it must be.
And then it does burn you, because her eyes come back to you. They alight upon you. And there's something strange inside of them. And the voice is so close now, her steps have brought her into your orbit like two suns spiraling. Then I have no further business here. Well done, Rhododendron Thakrar. In another life, I could have loved you like one of my own. And without another word, the moon, the mother of werewolves, she walks down the barely dusted, snowy sidewalk. Like she was just another person on the street, just another mortal dealing with a broken heart. She walks away from you. And the moon slides back to being nearly empty in the sky, a crescent looking down on you. Your first companion.
Ro watches the moon, the mother of werewolves, walk away and leave them alone for all of eternity. And while they watch the edges of reality start to knit itself back together, they feel like something is irreparably broken here, not just in their heart and their soul, but in that of Infernos. And we're going to end the session there.
Wow.
Hey, what?
Hamnah, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hello. My name is Hamnah, and I use any and all pronouns, and I have been Rhododendron Thakrar, who uses they, Ray pronouns, your resident guest NPC co-GM, dethroning Connie briefly? I don't know. That
Briefly.
Briefly. It will happen again. I say, I'm going to be here in the call for the beginning of Arc 4, actually. Yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
refusing
you
to
should
leave.
invite yourself in. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm refusing to leave. I will be in this call specifically. Thank you all so much for watching and for being here. This arc, it has meant a lot to me. And I think I have way more words than I have time to say here right now. So all I can say is that this is a very deeply personal arc to me and very deeply personal story and character. And it's been such a delight to be here with everybody at this table and to get to tell this story. It really truly has been so wonderful, and I'm gonna miss it a lot. So yeah, if you want to see me in other works that I do, you can follow me all over social media at LilithTTRPG, and you should also follow Tendervicious Studios or tendervicious.com and check out our actual play that is currently out. We have episode 3 out right now of Laurie's House. Laurie's House is an actual play about imperfect memory, community, and identity. It is very beautiful. Kai is our GM and C is our dramaturg, so if you want more Transplaners vibe goodness, there is some of that in Laurie's House. And yeah, thank you all so much for having me in your house again. It's been so wonderful. And with that, I will pass introductions over to Zoe.
Hi everyone, I'm in the outro now. I also wasn't expecting this. If you like what I do here, you'll love what I do whenever I go, wherever my friends go. Just follow me on Blue Sky at Radical Zoe and you'll find stuff. I've been Kimani again. I think that's all I got. I'm passing it back to Connie.
And I'm gonna pass it over to C.
Hi everyone, my name is C. I use they, them pronouns, and you can find me making very trans, very gay art on the internet at C Plays RPG. I have had the absolute and utmost pleasure to be your Artemis this evening, mother of werewolves, lover of mortals, and patron saint who weeps and weeps and weeps. It has been my absolute pleasure to also be your backstage producer and dramaturg and wearer of many hats, social media poster, meme maker, art drawer on occasion.
Everyone in chat right now, if you don't give it up for C,
Yeah,
I
just
will
give it up,
actually
seriously.
find
Give
you.
it up
Put
for
All the
hyphen in chat
posts,
right
people
now.
think it's me, it's C. Like, you all think I'm
Give
running the social
C
media, it's
their
C Thomas.
flowers right now.
Give
or
C their
I will
flowers.
find you.
Buy
Give them
some
your
merch.
flowers.
I also help make the merch with our husband, Val. Our husband, Val. Our husband, Val's husband.
Our husband.
Our husband.
Our husband.
Thank you, Sam. It means the world to me, and it means the world to me to get to help make such a beautiful, incredible, and moving show. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And now I am going to pass it to Connie for our big old outroductions, and I'm going to put on
Yes.
some jams in the back for us as we hang. Stay
Yes,
for it.
so stick around. We've got a lot of really cool outro announcements. So I know this is like the post-show like spiel, but it's really cool stuff. I love all of you so much. Artemis, I have such a thing for the moon since the second stranger. If you know, you know. But thank you all so much for tuning in to Arc 3 for real. For real now. This has been such a special story, and I am so grateful we got to weave this narrative of grief, rage, and hope together. This arc has been about so many things. What it means to trust in a city of political schemes and complex social dynamics. What it means to accept and define your place in a family, in a legacy, in a greater web of history, trauma, and love. And of course, what it means to love, romantically, platonically, familially, artistically, and beyond. I talk a lot about non-colonial and anti-Orientalist world building, and for me, liberational storytelling means reaching beyond the limited supremacist imaginaries that we are afforded in real life to build complex, nuanced, and expansive possibilities in fiction. This means that there are no easy heroes and no easy villains. All of us are flawed and imperfect and full of contradiction, nuance, and the potential for change. For now, I am proud to send off the story of Inferno with my incredible cast and crew around me. It's time for the cycles of tragic strife between houses Thakrar and Lanius to come to an end. It is time for Willow and Aditi to breathe, to understand their wounds and scars, to process their unfathomable losses, and to hand the torch over to their heirs. Speaking of the future, let's talk about what Transplaner has in store for May, June, and beyond. So first of all, we're going to be taking a break.
Yeah.
We're going to be taking a break. Producing a live show to this degree of narrative complexity and cohesion is truly a titanic. Yes, it's a titanic amount of work, right? And we're going to be taking the next few weeks off just to catch our breaths. It's a much needed rest. But never fear. We are coming back soon to celebrate AAPI Heritage Month, or Asian, American, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. A complicated and flawed, imperfect term, but it will do for now. You know what I mean. In style, we're going to be celebrating this month in style with a push for Twitch Partner. That's right, I'm announcing it right now. After 5 years on Twitch, we're going to try to push for and hit partner status, and we need your help to do so. If you want to learn how to help us with this, please stay tuned on our Blue Sky, on our Discord, and on our YouTube community to learn more about this initiative as it happens, because we're going to be calling on folks to like watch specific streams, like maybe make social media posts just to show Twitch that like our community gives a fuck about us basically, and like that we mean something to people. So if you want to help us, really free and easy way to do it. After AAPI Heritage Month, it is June. It's Pride Month here in the US. June is also the month of our channelversary. We're going to be celebrating 5 years of Transplaner. That's half a decade. I don't want to think about that too long, but that's half a decade. Stay tuned for more details of those celebrations. We're going to be planning some really cool charity streams to give back to our community. And in the meantime, we're also going to be planning Arc 4. That's right, Arc 4. We're also going to be releasing a brand new merch drop this summer, really soon. So if you're a fan of Godkiller, Last Hope, and First Blood, that's right, First Blood, girlies and gays and theys in the chat, make some noise, and Last Hope, right? You are gonna be thrilled. Like, this shit, it looks so good. It looks so fucking good. I'm so excited. So stay tuned on our socials.
Quite literally.
It's so good.
It's really good.
We're going to be posting more information about the merch drop as things are ready to gear up and get pushed out. And patrons will be getting a sneak peek of those designs, those heretical god-killing designs. So if you want to get stuff early, it's gorgeous. It's so worth it. Thank you all again so much for tuning into Arc 3 of the Chaos Protocol. It has been a genuine honor and pleasure to facilitate this season alongside Kai, Samm, Val, Hamnah, C, Zoe as our surprise guest as well as our awesome stream mods Jordan and Keith, our podcast editor Marisa Ewing, and another surprise guest during this arc, Draconics. I'd also like to thank our character artist Angel, aka S.A. Batons, and our podcast album artist Vivienne, aka May Buyen. Finally, I'd like to thank Explain Trade, Hero Forge, and Frivolous Bear Studios as our 3 major sponsors for this arc. What you've all witnessed here is an immense labor of time, energy, money, resources, and love. We could not make this art without the contributions of each and every single person on, behind, and beyond this screen, including you all as our amazing audience. So you can continue to support our show in the off season by joining and participating in our Discord, pledging to our Patreon, making fan works if you are so inclined. Yes, I do check our AO3 tag quite often. Posting,
literally all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Posting about Transplanar on Blue Sky or Instagram or Tumblr, which the tags of Tumblr I check constantly as well. Rating our podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, buying merch from our merch store, and most importantly, a completely free way to do this, telling someone about us. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your barista, tell your dog, your cat, your parakeet! Thank you all so much, Transplanards. See you on the other side for AAPI Heritage Month. And in the meantime, Spijo Pijo. Bye!
And stick around for the raid! Bye!
Stick around for the raid! Stick around for the raid! Howdy, Transplanards. You know what time it is. It's sponsor Connie time with a word from Hero Forge. Hero Forge has officially leveled up with kit bashing. When you become a pro member, you can place up to 20 more items anywhere on one of your Blorbos with their own independent scaling, rotation, and movement. You can make your character look exactly as they should, even if the specific clothing or accessory option isn't available at the base level. You just have to get a little creative. And because I love you, Transplaners, here's a special sneak peek at a kit bashed version of Oblivion. Just look at those wings and that base. This would not be possible without the power of kit bashing. The combinations are literally endless, and you can print your kit bashed Blorbos as plastic minis, standees, digital STL files, or even Hero Forge's brand new color statuettes. Color statuettes are twice the size of a regular mini, and just look at this. I mean, look how massive this is, and especially in comparison to a regular mini, you can really get into all the nooks and crannies and details that wouldn't be as apparent on a regular sized mini. Just look at how Oblivion dwarfs Oka here. And also, if you're a GM, consider busting out one of these bad boys during a boss fight to really get your players shaking in their boots. Oblivion agrees. Unlock the true power of Hero Forge with a Hero Forge Pro subscription starting at $3.99 a month. Get in there and start creating at bit.ly/transforge. Now, let's get back to the show. Or more likely, just more of the waiting room. Trust in her will.